We have some great BD quick tips here. If it's all right with you, David, I'll pass over the reins and you can take us through this week's quick tips.
Yes, we got a few more quick tips for this webinar. For this time around, we wanted to pick a few features and settings kind of based around some common questions that we get asked here. Most often, more from newer users of the BD platform, but nonetheless, still somewhat common questions that we get asked. So we wanted to highlight a few features regarding those. So diving right on into the first one, refresh live site. You shouldn't need to use this too often, but you may have noticed in a couple different places actually within the admin area, you might see a refresh live site button. I believe there's also a link in the dashboard menu item on the left-hand side of the admin area. But what this allows you to do is immediately apply any changes that you're not seeing on your website to your website, basically by doing a hard refresh on the website's cache. Again, you shouldn't really ever need to use this, but if you're making a lot of changes or updates to your website in quick succession, or if for whatever reason you're just not seeing some of the updates that you're making to your website immediately apply, you can click that refresh live site button, and that all that does is refresh the website's cache so that you should immediately see those updates. So like I mentioned, it's really simple. There's a button right at the top of the admin area when you're editing your website. You can click that button. Once you click that, you'll get a pop-up. You'll see that the website's cache has been refreshed. And then you can visit the front end of the site again, refresh it, and you should see whatever changes you made take immediate effect. So really, this is best used to just instantly apply those recent changes without waiting. Again, you shouldn't ever need to wait, but in some rare instances, maybe some things are lagging a little bit behind. You can click that button to immediately see those changes. This can also help to ensure that your visitors see the most up-to-date content. Again, if you're making a lot of updates in quick succession, maybe things will start to lag a little bit behind in applying those updates. So you can click that button to just immediately apply everything. And then also, if you are making any updates, like I mentioned, and you're just not seeing those updates take effect on the front end of the site, or maybe it's taking, a few seconds longer than it should, you don't want to, wait around those extra few seconds. You can just click that refresh live site button. And again, that should immediately apply those changes. So you shouldn't ever really need to use this, but it's a great option to have if for whatever reason you're seeing some updates not take immediate effect.
Yeah, and just to that point, if you're a developer or designer, and if you're making changes in the database, instead of using the normal way users are saving changes in the admin, you're going directly to the database. This will be actually critical, clicking the refresh live site so that your database changes are reflected on the front end of your site. This is a safe button to click if you're seeing it in the admin, so you don't have to click it with feeling hesitant or reluctant about it. You can click it, let it do what it needs to do. But as David said, for most users, you don't need to use it, but it is there in case you're not seeing any changes right away.
And this next one here, a really overlooked option here in the admin area, and a very useful one. So you can actually assign any members on your site manually to any membership plan. So this is really great when either want to move members from one membership plan to another, or if you want to upgrade a member to a paid plan, but you don't want them to have to pay for that premium paid plan, you can just change their membership plan over to that premium one and they don't have to pay. So it's really simple, really easy to do. It's in the quick edit options when you're editing an individual member. So you go to the My Members section in the admin area, you find the individual member you're looking for, you go to that actions drop down that you see for every member, and then you go to quick edit. And then right in quick edit, the second option is for their membership plan, and you'll get a drop down with all of the membership plans that you have on your website. So you can select the new membership plan that you want to move that member into. And again, you can move them into free plans, into paid plans. Again, if you want to upgrade a member to a paid plan, give them whatever features you have in that premium plan without them having to actually pay for it. This is a super easy way to do that. And optionally, if you did actually want the member to pay the membership fee that you have set up for a paid plan, if that's the type of plan that you're moving them into, after you do this, you can then just quickly start a paid subscription for the member. And we'll show you how to do that in just a second here. But so overall, this is a great, easy way, very easy, very fast way to upgrade or downgrade members without having to process a payment. Again, you can if you want. It just takes one extra step. But this is a great way to give individual members access to those those paid features that you might have in some of your premium membership plans at no cost, if that's what you want to do. And also, if you're doing some testing, maybe you're having some promotional periods where you're giving members, free access to your paid plans. For whatever reason, you need to make a manual adjustment, maybe a one-time courtesy for an individual member, things like that. This is a great way to do all those things. Again, you just go to Actions, Quick Edit, and right in there, you can change any individual member's membership plan.
And also the reason we wanted to actually include this one is we see it quite often. This question is asked in the Facebook group. I have a member, I want to make them a premium member, but I don't want to have to force them to pay to be a premium member. It seems obvious, but if you're new to the platform, it might not be so obvious. So let's actually follow David's steps here. And let's go to the My Members section under Search Members actually here. And I'll show you two things you can do. And also to David's point, let's remember that the membership plan that they're subscribed to, especially if we're doing manual things in the admin area, because we are the captain of the ship when we're in the admin area here. So we can set members to whatever plan we want them to be, but without forcing them to pay. But also, if we want to start that paid subscription, we would do that separately as well. So let's actually do a couple things here. Let's take a look at like this member here. This is the quick edit link that David is referring to here. There's lots of good stuff in the quick edit pop-up here. So one is you can actually set their account status. This is active. Maybe you want to put them on hold or canceled or one of these 4 or 5 options here. But here you can change their membership plan. And when you do this, they will be that higher or lower tiered membership plan than you set them to, and they'll have all the privileges or restrictions that you've created for this membership plan. So currently this person is membership plan 1. Let's say we want to make a membership plan 3. By saving the changes here, they will automatically be changed to membership plan 3. No subscription or payment has been made for them, and now we've made that change for them. So let's just save the changes there. Now, let's say we wanted to give that to them, but we talked to them on the phone. They had a customer service issue, and we told them that we'll make them a membership plan 3. We'll do it for half the price, whatever the case may be. What we want to do in that case, if we want to start a paid subscription for this user, now that they are membership plan 3, we can click on their name. Actually, in the payments, the actions drop down, we can go to payment history also. That's 2 things we can do. Probably better to do that one. Under the payment history, so this person doesn't have payment history, we can do 2 things. One is we can add a credit card on file for them. If we're on the phone with them or they don't have a card on file, we can do that as the admin. Again, we're the captain of this ship. We have the ability to do that. Let's say this user did have a card on file. We would just click on New Order. And New Order also means, creating a new subscription for them. So here's the example where these are all our paid subscriptions. So currently on this site, only membership plan 2 is a paid subscription. Let's pretend we assign them this membership plan 2. This is generally $10 per month or $100 annually. So I can choose the billing cycle I want from the membership plan settings. But this is the cool thing. So let's say we told them that we would give them, half price for this. So what we can do is we can do a price override, and this will be $5 per month moving forward. And also we can actually choose to start the subscription in the future. So actually, let's say we wanted to give them April for free. We can actually start billing them on May 1st. We can leave some notes here. Member was upset. We're offering, whatever it might be. And you'll see these notes later. And then you just create the order. We can see this member doesn't have a card on file. We're being prompted to add a card on file, but just to show you that you can then start that subscription for them. And one more thing about this, which is worth noting, also, if you wanted to highlight a group of members from the search options here, maybe you did a filter, you can actually do a bulk change plan here. Let me see where that is among the list here. Change membership plan. There we go, membership plan. And you can hit apply, and then you can choose, just like we did in the quick edit, is change in bulk their membership plan here. Again, it won't start or stop a paid subscription. So if you're doing this, just be mindful of that. But you can change everyone here as needed. So again, pretty straightforward, but sometimes it's overlooked, and it's always worth reminding ourselves about these little features available.
Great stuff. I think being able to manually create those orders straight from the admin area is definitely one of the more overlooked features that we have. Going into the last one here, again, maybe something that might be a little more obvious to some of our more experienced users, but for some of our newer users, it might be something that might not be so obvious, is adding a custom form to any page on your website. So you can create a custom form, put in whatever fields you want in that form, and then you can add that form onto any page. For example, maybe you're building a landing page and you want a specific form for that specific landing page. You're asking the visitor for some specific information, so you're creating some new fields in that form. You can then copy that form's short code and just paste it onto the web page. So you edit the web page, you paste in that short code wherever you want the form to appear, and then you save the changes, and the form will then immediately be displayed and functional on that specific page. So it's a really simple process. You just go to Toolbox, Form Manager, you create your new form, and then once you create and save the form, you'll get a short code. So you just click the copy short code button, and then you can paste that short code into whatever page you want it to appear on. So this is a great way to collect some custom information from visitors or members of your site. You can easily add, contact forms. There, by default, you do have the contact page, you have the get matched lead page, but you can create some custom forms, some surveys, some custom lead capture forms. You can add those to any page. This is a really great thing to keep in mind if you want to set up some specific and custom landing pages on your site. But overall, you don't have to do any coding. It's really simple. You just create the form, edit the fields, and then copy and paste the short code.
Yeah, I think one of the highest value things of this is Brilliant Directories is an all-in-one platform, and there are definitely other platforms where you can create forms, embed forms. Some are fancier than others, also landing page builders, but you can also do all of that pretty much with Brilliant Directories. And let's actually show you a simple example of how this works. Again, most of you probably know how to do this, but always a good reminder, especially for newer users who just started with the platform. So let's actually just start from the dashboard area. So we'll start from zero, basically. So let's first create a form. We'll go to Toolbox and Form Manager. And from here, I was playing around. I created a new form for the webinar here, but we'll just do this here. We'll click New Form, and we'll give it a nickname, New Form Webinar. And I'll just put the number 2 there since I have one like that. And we'll save, and continue. Now, the good part is when you create a new form, it starts you off with kind of the basic stuff that you probably want in a form, such as collecting their name, email, phone, and an enter message box. So almost like a contact us form. However, you can modify any of this. You could say, for example, enter first name. You can do that, and then you can add a field, and we can say enter last name. So kind of just changing things a bit here. So instead of just an enter name field, we can have 2, and let's save the changes just to add that one change there. Okay, great. So now we have, what I like here is the form preview. It kind of shows us the changes as we're making them. So we see enter first name, enter last name, and so on. I'll just leave it at that for now. There's obviously more we can do to a form. And that's basically it for the form. What we want to do is click this copy shortcode button, and that copies it to the clipboard. I'll put it here. It says form equals new form webinar 2. That's like the system name, but that's the short code for it. We don't really need to know what it is. We just have to click this button for the form we want. And now let's head on over to the web page builder. And let's say we want to create a landing page. We're doing a contest giveaway. People have to fill out this form to enter, and so on and so forth. So let's create a new web page here. Again, I'm going to keep this really simple because we're just showing how to embed the form. We can give the page a name. We'll call it Contest 1. And in this example, I'll just drag one of the content blocks we have here. And instead of an image, I'll delete this image. I'll just paste that short code that we have. So that form equals and the system name for that form. I'll just do that and save the changes.
And I think it's important to mention when you're pasting the short code, you don't have to go into the code view or anything. You can just stay right in the visual editor here, just like you're typing in some text, and you can just paste the short code right there like that.
Exactly. That's all I did. I just did a Control V right there. So let's view this page. It's a good tip there. And there we go. So obviously we could change the default text that came with that content block. We've added enter first name, enter last name. Let's actually fill this out together. I'll do Jason, we'll do Halusum, we'll do JJ at jj.com. Show you guys an even cooler thing because again, when a lot of these form tools like Typeset or JotForm, it's hard to access your data after the form submission. Even with some of these WordPress plugins, they've gotten a lot better. But with BD, it's all kind of built in. So let's actually fill out this form and see where it goes. Well, first, where it's going to go is the admin of the site is going to get emailed that this form got filled out. So this is very simple for the user. Our landing page is created, but where we want to go is in the forms inbox here. This catches all the inquiries or submissions from these forms that we've put around our site. And we can see here, this is from that contest one page. We could see the source where the form was filled out. We could see the email, jj@jj.com. What's even cooler is you can filter by the form. So if you just have a contest form, you want to see all the submissions from that contest form, just filter for the form name here. So there we go. So obviously there's just one submission, the one we just did. And what's really cool is you can also look at the full inquiry here. So as the admin, you can see what was filled out, the first name, last name, phone number, etc. And even better is you can export the results, or you can create a smart list. So again, if you're doing a contest, we'll just stick with that example. You can make a smart list of everyone who filled out this form and then send them a follow-up email via a newsletter if you needed or wanted to. So it really comes full circle, create the form, put it on a page, catch the submissions here, and then you can do further marketing to them after that. And again, that's all built into the BD platform there. Anything else to mention about this, David?
I think that covers it.
Yeah, we didn't want to get too in depth, but I think that's a solid overview right there. Thank you for that.